Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where this is a happy day. We are going to do our second video on chives. And this time, as you noticed by the title, we are going to do the promised cool thing I promised in the first video. Today, we are going to get started on our Chive Blossom Vinegar. I am so excited about this project. This is the first time I have done it, but I didn't even know it existed until just a few months ago. And I could hardly wait for our chives to shoot up from winter and put out those blossoms because I'm dying to try this. People who have done it say that it is just the most delicious vinegar. Now, a little correction, we're not going to actually make the vinegar. The vinegar is right here. We're going to be using white wine vinegar. And it is an infusion. We're going to infuse the chive taste through the blossoms into the vinegar. And it's going to be such a delightful color of pink. And supposedly it is just marvelous. So I can hardly wait to get started. I have to tell you about the buttons on my shirt first. Just as we started, well, actually, before we started, Jim said, "Have you sewn mismatched buttons on your blouse?" They're different sizes. And I said, no, it came that way. It's just the style. And then I showed him right here on my shirt how they're just using mismatch. I don't sew much anymore. I do sew on buttons, but I haven't touched this shirt. Anyway, so much for that. So the first thing that we're going to do is head outside and harvest our chive blossoms. Thank goodness for this little gardening bench that I have. It can go either way, upside down or right side up. It allows me to kneel on a cushion, and I can have these to help me get up again. So I am looking for blossoms that are new and fresh. I don't want any that have started to dry out. So these have just come on in the last few days. Most of them are brand new. I'm leaving a little bit of the stem, so perhaps we can get a little bit more of the flavor to infuse. That one's going. So I'm going to continue on this. We'll meet you back in the kitchen when I have harvested all of these good blossoms. Well, this is the extent of our harvested blossoms. These are all the young and vibrant blossoms. I did not leave very many out there on the plants. So one of the things that this has taught me already is that I'm going to divide those large chive plants that I have and pop more around our yard so that next year, in the spring, I'll have a much larger harvest of these blossoms and I can make more vinegar. But this will make us some, and we can get the taste of it and know how it's going to fit in with everything else that we do. So the first thing, we're going to rinse these with cold water. These little blossoms have perfect hiding places for little tiny bugs. So we want to get all of those out. I don't see any bugs floating. Oh yeah, there are a few. And not that they would really hurt anything anyway. I mean, this is going in vinegar, so those little bugs aren't going to give us any trouble. Next, I'm going to take a clean dish towel, swish these around, and put them right here on this towel.
Then you're going to vigorously dry them.
Hardly. Yep, there's a little dirt and some bugs in the water, so it's a good thing that we did that. Then I'm just going to sort of pat them dry, and they do not need to be all the way dry. Our harvest was smaller than I had hoped. I'm going to switch jars. I'm not going to use a quart, I'm going to use a pint. And I'm just going to put the blossoms in there. All right, forget that. That's too many for a pint. So back to the quart, which is good. Okay, now we have our blossoms in here. So I am now going to cover the blossoms with some white wine vinegar. You can use various types of vinegar according to what I have read. They discourage us from using the apple cider vinegar because it lends too much of a taste. But any of the white vinegars would do. Champagne vinegar, which we can hardly ever find around here. Next would be the white wine, and then next just regular white vinegar would work just fine too. So in we go. Oh, goodness sake, this is ridiculous. Oh, it doesn't unscrew. Oh, that's nice. So this is a pint of vinegar, 16 ounces. So I think we need just a little bit more. So we'll get a little bit, that'll be good. Okay. We want these submerged as much as possible. Now I'm using a plastic lid instead of the metal lid because of the acid in the vinegar. And now this is going to go in a cool, dark place for probably about 3 weeks. Now you can hasten this process by warming the vinegar. A couple of people gave some caveats on that, and which was that the flavor is rushed, and so it doesn't have the depth that it would have if you just let it seep slowly and infuse slowly into the vinegar. So that's what we're going to do. Some people turn them upside down like this. I probably, ooh, that dripped, so these lids aren't necessarily, they don't have a gasket, so they're not liquid proof. I will be bringing you back periodically over the next 3 weeks as we check. And I might see if I can find a little weight of some kind that I can, like you do when you ferment foods, to put those blossoms below the liquid level. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all there is to it. And then we just wait for it to infuse. Cool, dark place. So we'll see you at our next checkup. Today is day 14, and this is what our vinegar looks like. Let me put it in the sunlight. Maybe you can see it a little bit better there. So it's turning a beautiful pink. I'm not sure how much more pink it is going to get, but we're going to let it go another week. You may be able to see that in the top there, I'm just resting a canning lid down on the top of the blossoms, and it seems to hold them down below the level of the liquid. And about 3 days ago, I noticed that we had some new blossoms on one of our other chives plants, so I went out and got a handful and added them to our mix as well. So next week, and we will see what it looks like, and we will see you then. Well, today is the day. We have turned chive blossoms into chive vinegar, and we're going to bottle it up. So I have our bottle right here. I have a funnel that fits barely, and I have a strainer that I'm putting right here. Well, I have to have everything ready to do that. So I'm going to remove the canning lid that I put in here. Whoa! Oh my gosh, that is strong. Okay, so now I'll hold this carefully while we pour right here. And there we have our spent blossoms, and here we have our vinegar. Is this beautiful or what? Oh my goodness. From this to this, how exciting is that? Such pretty vinegar. So I'm going to taste it. I have not tasted it at all. So that's firmly in place. And These are completely spent. So let's give it just a little taste. Well, that was more than a little. Oh my goodness. Oh, it is just fabulous. Wow. Oh. The chives taste is definitely there. And it just brings such, oh my goodness, such a rich taste to the tanginess of the white wine vinegar. It is phenomenal. I will be making this over and over and over again. It is just so lovely. It's going to be wonderful on salads as an ingredient in salad dressings. It can be added to soups for a zingy flavor. It can be added to just a whole lot of things. I am just going to love this vinegar. Now, we have 3 chive plants right now out there. So by the end of season, I'm going to divide them up into several more because I need a lot more blossoms. This would just make a fabulous Christmas gift for friends and relatives in some kind of a little fancy jar like this. So we got these little jars when we did the fallen apple vinegar. So I will go back and look up the reference for these jars, and I will include that link so that you can check these particular jars out if you want to. So what a remarkable change from this to this. So thank you for being with us. And this took only 3 weeks to do. So it's very, very doable if you have lots of chives blossoms. And we will see you again very soon for more videos.